Welcome to Some Dude's Kitchen. I'm just some dude. Today we're going to be doing meatballs, and I'm going to be sharing two different recipes. This one is going to be the vegan one. So first you're going to need about 3 cups of water and about a half a cup of lentils and a half a cup of quinoa. Now any lentils work for this as same as quinoa, but if you're using anything other than red lentils, you will want to put those in the pot first. I just happen to like how red lentils taste better, and they're the texture I need them cooking them along with the quinoa at the same time. Alright, so you got to put the water in the pot on the stove. And we're going to turn the stove on and wait for it to boil. And then we need to wash these. So I'm actually going to put these into the big container here. And run water in them and drain it out and do that a few times since my mesh strainer is still covered in dirt from rock hunting. So after it's in, we're going to wait for it to boil again and then cap it and put it on low. Alright, so it boiled, so I put the lid on, put it on low, and then we'll come back and check here in 12 minutes and see how everything's doing. Alright, so it's been about 12 minutes and I just stirred it. As you can see, it's starting to soak up all the water. It should soak up most of it, if not all of it. So it's probably about halfway done. So while that's happening, we have some things we need to get ready for the next step. First, we need to make a flaxseed egg. We need 2. So it's going to be 3 tablespoons of water per 1 for flaxseed or chia seed for 1 egg. So I'm going to be doing 1 of each because I like both. There we are. You want to let that sit for at least 10 minutes. Alright, so for this part, we are going to need a half a cup of oatmeal, 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, garlic to taste, and then salt, pepper, celery flake, and Italian is really all this needs. And we're going to put them all in this bowl, so that way when the lentils and quinoa are done, we're going to be able to mix them in batches into the food processor since the one we have isn't big enough. Alright, so when there's only a little bit of liquid left, you want to take the top off and turn up the heat. You can see there's just a little bit left. So if this doesn't work to get that out, I'm just going to use a plate to strain it. And then we're going to throw it in here and mix it and let everything cool down. So here's everything mixed together. As you can see, it is still really, really hot. You see all that steam? So we need to let this come down to about room temperature. It's not going to hurt it at all, but that's going to make it easier to handle and will keep it from cracking the plastic in your food processor. So we want to make sure that it is cooled down, stirring it occasionally before we move on to the next step. Now, while this happens, if you see that the mixture is still, too watery for your liking, you can throw in more oatmeal, more flax seeds, or more chia seeds to help absorb some of that extra moisture. Alright, so it cooled down, and it's actually a really good texture that I'm not going to need to use the food processor. So this is the point where I make balls. I'm going to put them on the pan. And then we're going to bake them in the oven. So let's get that preheated to 350. There we are. And then once they're all balled, I like to just spray the tops of them to help them brown in the oven. And once the oven is preheated, we'll put it in there for 12 minutes to start. Here they are pulled out, and I flip them all on their side so that way the bottom has a chance to become more solid too, and I'm going to throw it in for another 10 minutes. So this is what they look like when they're done. As you can see, they're not soft anymore, falling apart. So now it's just letting them cool off to bag them up.